Assalamu alaikum student. Dr. Naveed Shahad, your course instructor is here. Today this is our 29th lecture. In this lecture we will talk about drought resistant plants, how drought resistant plants have been developed by using different approaches. So let's start. First of all, what is drought? Drought is the inadequacy of water availability, including precipitation and soil moisture, storage capacity, in quantity and distribution during life cycle of a crop to restrict expression of its full genetic yield potential. Drought is governed by various factors, the most prominent being extremes in temperature, photon, irradiance, and scarcity of water. It has been marked effect on cellular process, plant growth, development, and economical yield. So what are the methods of crop improvement for drought tolerance? Two methods are commonly used. First is a conventional breeding method, other is a genetic engineering method. In conventional breeding method, this method evolved crossing between two individuals from a same species produces a improved variety. कन्वेंशनल ब्रीडिंग में डिफरेंट प्लांट्स जो कि विगर वाइज अच्छे होते हैं और बेटर यील्ड देने वाले होते हैं, उनका आपस में क्रॉस करवाया जाता है और हाइब्रिड किस्म के प्लांट्स हासिल किए जाते हैं. लेकिन हाइब्रिड किस्म के प्लांट्स ऐसे प्लांट्स होते हैं जो कि यील्ड वाइज जो है बेहतर होते हैं एज़ कम्पेयर टू देयर पेरेंटल टाइप. एंड इन सम केसेस ऐसे प्लांट्स जिनके ट्रेड्स जो हैं बेटर वे से वर्क करने वाले होते हैं, उनकी होमोजाइगोसिटी को बढ़ाने के लिए सेल्फ पोलिनेशन करवाई जाती है और फिर इनकी सिलेक्शन की जाती है जो कि कन्वेंशनल मेथड में आती है. अदर मेथड इज़ द genetic engineering. It involves the DNA manipulation to alter the plant by introducing genes from another plant or any other organism. This is a more promising method and successfully using method, and a lot of the plants have been developed by using genetic engineering approach. Why genetic engineering for drought tolerance? The conventional breeding has contributed significantly in the development of drought tolerant high yielding crop varieties since centuries. However, the pace to develop new crop cultivars has been relatively slow, laborious, undesirable linkage, and limitation of fertility barriers for hybridization. The advantage of genetic engineering approaches enable a researcher to overcome such problem. What are the approaches used in genetic engineering? First is the engineering of genes for organic osmolytes, engineering of the genes encoding enzymes for regulatory genes, engineering of gene encoding LIA proteins, genetic engineering of detoxifying genes, engineering of the genes encoding transcription factors. These are the 5 different approaches which were used, and we will discuss one by one. First is the engineering of genes for organic osmolytes. Osmotic stress induced by high drought is one of the major causes for cellular and metabolic dysfunction, which ultimately affect plant growth and productivity. To cope up with such harsh environmental condition, plants alter physiological, molecular, and metabolic function to produce low molecular weight, electrochemically neutral and neutral small molecules, maintaining cellular osmotic homeostasis by lowering osmotic potential of a cell under stress. Such compounds are known as compatible solutes or osmolytes, which are non-toxic and do not interfere with cellular metabolism when accumulated in cytosol. Many genes play important role in synthesis of osmoprotectant in stress tolerant plant like proline, glycine, betaine, polyamines, mannitol, trehalose, and galactinose, which accumulate during osmotic adjustment. These organic solutes play an important role in induction of drought resistance. So we will talk about these osmolytes. First osmolyte is the glycine betaine. Genes for glycine betaine biosynthesis. What kind of the genes introduced into the plant to produce glycine betaine, and from where these genes were taken? Effective osmolytes accumulated during water stress by bacteria, cyanobacteria, and members of the Chenopodiaceae. This is glycine betaine is a effective osmolyte. Several crop like potato, tomato, rice, tobacco do not accumulate it, but can made to accumulate by developing transgenics. So these plants have been made transgenic by using specific gene for glycine betaine. Glycine betaine is synthesized from choline in two-step oxidation process. It is obtained in two-step. First, choline convert into the betaine aldehyde by the reaction of CDH. See, what is CDH? CDH is choline dehydrogenase enzyme. Choline dehydrogenase in E. coli and choline monooxygenase in spinach. Choline with the effect of CDH convert into the betaine aldehyde in first step. In second step of oxidation, betaine aldehyde convert into the glycine betaine by the effect of BADH. BADH is actually betaine aldehyde dehydrogenase. E. coli BETA gene encoding CDH has been cloned and used in transgenesis. So here BET-A gene is the important which have been introduced into these specific plants to produce glycine betaine. Other osmolyte is the triallose. Genes for triallose biosynthesis. Triallose is a non-reducing sugar. How triallose was obtained? UDP glucose 6-phosphate was converted into the triallose 6-phosphate with the effect of TPS. TPS is a basically enzyme triallose 6-phosphate synthase. Then triallose 6-phosphate convert into the triallose by the reaction of TPP, which is a triallose phosphatase. So TPS1 gene from budding yeast have been cloned and used for engineering drought and salinity resistance in crop plants. So in case of triallose biosynthesis, TPS gene was collected from the yeast and introduced into the crop plants. TPS1 triallose 6-phosphate synthase. Next osmolyte is proline. Genes for proline biosynthesis. In plant, proline is produced from ornithines under normal condition, but under stress it is made directly from glutamate. So these two enzymes commonly used in glutamate reaction. P5CS is a pyrroline 5-carboxylate synthetase. Other is P5CR, pyrroline 5-carboxylate reductase. These gene was obtained from soybean and moth bean. This is the overall process how proline obtained through the glutamate. Glutamate convert into the alpha glutamyl phosphate by the reaction of P5CS. Then P5CS convert alpha glutamyl phosphate into the glutamic alpha semialdehyde. After spontaneous cyclization of glutamic alpha semialdehyde convert into the pyrroline 5-carboxylate by the effect of P5CR. This pyrroline 5-carboxylate change into the proline. Next gene used for osmolyte is the gene for mannitol biosynthesis. Mannitol is a osmolyte. How mannitol can be obtained? By processing of glucose. Glucose convert into the fructose with the effect of HPI, which is a hexose phosphate isomerase, HPI, hexose phosphate isomerase. Then fructose change into the mannitol by the effect of MTLD. MTLD is mannitol 1-phosphate dehydrogenase. M1PP involve and convert mannitol into the 1-phosphate mannitol into the mannitol. That is a different with their structure. M1PP is mannitol 1-phosphate phosphatase. So in this case here MTLD stand for mannitol 1-phosphate dehydrogenase gene was isolated from E. coli and is imparts in drought tolerance. Next is approach is the engineering of genes, encoding enzymes for regulatory genes. Various stress related genes, metabolites such as abscisic acid are osmotically active compounds, and some other specific proteins are triggered under stress condition. Several groups of kinases like mitogen activated protein kinase MAPK, calcium dependent protein kinase CDPK, and sucrose non-fermenting 1 shortly SNF1 related protein kinase shortly say SNRK are also involved in perceiving the stress stimuli along with the abscisic acid and transduce signal downstream to the transcription factor and their target genes. ABA is a significant player that is involved in plant growth and development when plants are subjected to stressed condition. This group also include protein phosphatases such as PP2C, P1 turnover related protein such as PLC, PLD, PIP5K, DGK, and PAP, and calmodulin binding proteins and calcium binding proteins. Other approaches engineering of genes encoding Lia protein. Lia protein is actually late embryogenesis abundant proteins. These proteins are highly expressed during late phase of embryo development. This group of proteins are induced under water limiting condition and also accumulated during seed or pollen development or some stages of shoot and root development. When water is in limited amount, they help to maintain a structure of cellular membranes, ionic balance, water binding, and acts as molecular chaperones under drought stress condition. Lia proteins were classified into at least 7 groups, but 9 groups in Arabidopsis thaliana based on the amino acid sequence, homology, and specific motifs. Other approach is genetic engineering of detoxifying genes. Oxidative stress caused by high drought lead to the generation of ROS, reactive oxygen species, which is detrimental for plant growth and survival. Excess ROS accumulation causes protein oxidation, membrane lipid peroxidation, DNA and RNA damage, and may even lead to cell death. In order to maintain cellular homeostasis, plants have developed a complex system of ROS scavenger enzymes. The common antioxidant enzymes are superoxide, dismutase, shortly say SOD, ascorbate, peroxidase, APX, catalase, CAT, and glutathione reductase, that is GR. Peroxidases and catalases operate with SOD for antioxidant mechanism, like oxygen change into the hydrogen peroxide in the presence of superoxide dismutase. Then hydrogen peroxide convert into the water plus oxygen in the presence of catalase. Next approach is engineering of gene encoding transcription factors. Transcription factors are the proteins that bind DNA, specifically transcribed and regulate genes. They are a terminal transducer in a signaling cascade and are able to regulate expression of downstream genes involved in stress responses by recognizing and binding to conserved cis-acting sequences in their promoter. Identification and characterization of several group of transcription factors and numerous studies have been made to improve stress tolerance by genetic manipulation of these transcription factors. The most important transcription factor families involved in abiotic stress tolerance are AP2, EREBP, which is actually AP2 is apitala2 and EREBP is ethylene responsive element binding protein. MYB, WRKY, NAC have further NAM, ATAF and CUC, and after NAC is BZIP, is a basic leucine zipper domain. So these are the transcription factor families which involve in the transcription factor family, mean basically genes involved in the abiotic stress tolerance. So student, this is all about development of the drought resistant plants.